Hey folks, Kevin, your budget travel guy here, and today we are finally going to do one of those videos I have been promising you that I would bring you. We're going to do the minivan, and we're going to talk about exactly what I carry and what I do not, and the reasons for that. Let's get to it. I do want to jump in with one thing. I know it's been a while since I've put a video up. I've had a few people send me messages and asking if I'm okay. Everything was fine. It was just life, finishing up some things from last year, dealing with taxes this year. Got a little more complicated because I got rid of some property so I could spend more time doing this year. And everything is fine. We'll get back on a normal schedule and bring you a couple of videos a week. But let's get to this, what I carry and what I don't on this van. This particular minivan is a Chevrolet, but it really doesn't matter about the brand. The dimensions inside all of these, regardless of brand, is basically the same. The only difference really I can see with different ones comes with different little hidden cubby holes and spaces to put things into. Other than that, they're pretty much all the same. And even if you're watching this and you're thinking about maybe a cargo van or even an SUV, you know, it's pretty much going to be the same. If you're trying to do the basics, whether it's to not spend a lot of money or just because you like the basics like I do, then this same item, same philosophy is basically going to work for you. So you can take this and you can adjust it. You may not agree with everything, and if you don't, that's okay. You know, find out what works for you and what doesn't, but I think this will give you a good baseline. The middle section of this van for us is basically the bed area. If you've watched our other earlier videos, you know that this bed is made to pull out. I can pull it out. I can actually have two people in here, two mattresses. Right now, I just have one. I have it set up this way just for simplicity, give myself some room, the ability to throw a bicycle in there easily if I'm by myself. Toiletries are stored here and here for the better half. And you can see little things back here, a set of flip-flops. These are just shoe racks that you can pick up at the dollar store anywhere. They were just cut in half, basically some boot strings to hold these, just something to give us some pockets. Under the bed are three containers. The one furthest back has tools. The one in the middle basically is some extra bed clothes and some oddball things. The one in the front is basically my clothes. When I'm traveling with the better half, she'll throw some kind of oversized giant duffel bag in here to hold her stuff. But I can pretty much get by. You know, I'm a shorts guy, a few pair of shorts, some shirts, some underwear, some socks, and I really try to keep about a month's supply of that because socks and underwear don't take up a lot of space. So if you can keep 20 or 30 of each one, you can be out, and you can be out for several weeks at a time, and you can have clean clothes, and you're not spending all your time trying to wash clothes or find a place to wash clothes. So it's just one of those things. Make it easy on yourself. This console between the front seats gave us better cup holders, more storage space, a big deep lockable compartment here for any little electronic gadgets and stuff you need. Electronic gadgets I think I'll cover in another video just to keep this one short. Door panels on the passenger side. Each side is going to have some hand sanitizer. Each side is going to have some mosquito repellent. You'll see a box of motion sickness pills in there, a pair of scissors, and a pair of binoculars, because if you're out in nature, you really don't want to miss great things, so carry a little pair of binoculars with you. Each side of the vehicle, basically under the seat, is also going to have an umbrella for when you get caught in bad weather. And some suntan repellent and, not suntan repellent, suntan lotion and insect repellent. If you're going to be doing this, you need a fire alarm and you need a CO2 alarm. So those are tucked down in the door panels. So if something goes wrong in the middle of the night, we're going to be able to be awakened, and to get out safely. So those are two must-haves. You know, you can get a cheap fire alarm for about 10 bucks and throw the battery away that comes with it. Spend $3 or $4 and put you a good battery in. The same thing with the CO2 alarm. Those things run about 25 bucks, which is the little square looking box. If you're dealing with propane and you're going to be sealed up in a vehicle with propane, even little propane canisters, it doesn't hurt to have that. You know, safety first. You're not going to have much of an adventure in life if you're dead. So spend the few bucks and make sure that you are safe. On the outside is some Velcro strips. We have them on the back. We have them on each side. And here is one of these, but we actually have 4 or 5 of these around, just cheap solar paneled lights. You don't need anything fancy. Throw it up on the dashboard, wherever it'll charge you going down the highway. And at night you can take some Velcro on the back, slap these things up, and now you have motion detectors. So if you need to get out in the middle of the night, when you open the door, it's automatically going to come on. If an animal or somebody walks up to your vehicle on any side, it's automatically going to come on. You'll be able to see the light from inside. Even if you have the windows kind of covered, you'll be able to tell if someone comes up on your vehicle if you have these. But if you notice, everything is where I can reach in and get to it. I don't have to move 12 things to get to anything. So starting here, we have a 5-gallon bottle of water. Depending on where you're at, you may or may not need it. The nice thing is, if you head into the west, there's a lot of places to refill these pretty cheap for maybe $1 each time you need to fill it. I do have an assembly that fits on top of here, a little hand pump. Those things run you about $15. So we always have that water plus a case of drinking water with us. This is just a box of food. I have 2 of these blue containers that were ice coolers. One I use for dry food. The other one is for ice and a few drinks. Down here I have a rechargeable battery pack. You can't get this particular one anymore. I've had this for about 2 years now. But you can pick these up under different brands. These run a couple $100 a piece. You can plug them in to 12 volt and charge these things as you are driving down the highway. Now, this isn't going to do a lot, but it'll charge a phone, it'll charge laptops. The big thing that we use it for is to run this fan at night. This is called an Endless Breeze. It is a 12 volt fan. So we can plug it right into this battery pack. We can run the fan all night, have a nice breeze going through here, be comfortable at night, and not have to be plugging this just into our main battery and taking a chance on running the battery down, different things, which I have done before. This is about $200. It's probably the most expensive thing that I carry at this point. And for summertime, it's a nice splurge. Under this nice cover is a portable toilet. We generally don't use this a lot, but we do have the shower tent. We do have a little pump up shower that I don't have in here at the moment. And you can pull this out. You can make about a 6-foot little shower stall out of it, or a bathroom stall. You know, for the most part though, being a guy, a pee bottle is all you need, and I'm generally going to be out somewhere virtually every day in nature where I can hit a public restroom, because I tend to not stay one place too often. But if you are the type of person that wants to go out and you want to spend 4 or 5 days actually in the woods, nice combination. Of course, there are other ways that you can take care of going to the bathroom. You can use a shovel out in the woods. You can use a cheap little bucket and some trash bags and maybe some cat litter. So there's a lot of things you can do without spending this, but these things are only about $80. They're quite nice. They do what they're supposed to do. Then we have a propane stove. Some people use smaller ones. There's not a lot of price difference between the little 1 burner and 2 burner. For me, I'd rather have the 2 burner. Extra propane tanks are back here in this side compartment. Need some exercise, so there's a Frisbee and a football. Something to clean with, some paper towels. And since I carry a bike, I have 2 bike locks because one really isn't big enough. With 2 of these chained together, I can take my bike, I can wrap it around a tree, I can wrap it around a picnic table, whatever I can find nearby. Worst case scenario, I can wrap it around the door handle of the van, so it's not going to walk off in the middle of the night. Sunshade for the front windows. Under here, we keep the shades for all of these big side windows. I do not have any type of curtain that goes across to separate the front from the back. I know some people do that if they're camping in Walmart parking lots, or they're trying to do this stuff, stealth camp in the city or whatever. I'm not real big on doing that, so I just haven't found the need to have that in here and have to deal with that yet. No really wrong answer with this stuff. It's what works for you. This has worked for us going coast to coast several times. This van from Tennessee has been all the way into California and Mexico. It has been all the way into Michigan and into Canada. So it has gotten some use with this basic setup. Without having any kind of huge refrigerator, with not having solar panels, you can get by with not having a lot of the gizmos that you see people touting that you have to have. Hidden back here, I have an emergency jump starter. One of the luxuries, I have a Coleman coffee pot that will sit on the propane stove for making coffee in the morning. One of my buddies and I were talking, and we've come up with 5 or 6 different ways, and we're going to show you all of them in a separate video. I have a big tarp in here for the bike. You know, if it's kind of messy or it's rained, we don't want to mess anything up. Sometimes I'll even throw the bike on the bed, so I want the tarp on there before I throw the bike in here, just so I don't make a mess. And I carry a little tent system. This is just a basic little $20 tent. I really pretty much don't use it except to mark a space with. There are some places that you may go to and they'll have some tent camping only places, in which case you're expected to put up a tent, obviously. And if you do that, that doesn't mean you have to sleep in it. So we keep one with us in case we need to throw the tent up, and, you know, we're still going to sleep in the vehicle anyway. Just more comfortable. So my quest in this from the beginning has been to keep this as simple as possible. Now, I know people are going to disagree with some of what I say and some of what I have, and that's great. You can put that stuff in the comment section and kind of debate it among yourselves. But there's no right or wrong answer. It's what works for you. However, for me, I want to be able to get up in the morning, and if I'm not making breakfast wherever I am, I want to be able to jump out there, throw some water on my face, brush my teeth, throw the bike in the van. I want to be able to be out of there in 5 minutes time. I don't want to spend an hour having to move everything around. The same thing at night. I want to take 2 or 3 minutes, lock up the bike, and be done and be ready for bed or to lay down if that's what I want to do, or if the weather changes quickly, which can happen. I don't want to be spending an hour taking things down, putting things up, moving things around in order to be able to get in bed. That's a personal preference, and you have to figure out what works for you. Now, as far as other things that you could carry, and some people do carry, I have found there's things that I don't need. If I had more space, maybe, but I really don't need to carry axes. We did a video, I'll put the link down below, of a chainsaw, a little battery-powered chainsaw, and it works great. My buddy loves it to death. You know, but one of the things at the end of the video, he said, "So, are you going to get one?" I said, "No," because quite honestly, I don't want to carry it. Where am I going to put it? If I have it, It's going to be another one of those things that I am going to be using very little, but every day, 2 or 3 times, I'm going to have to pick it up and move it to get to something else. I'm going to have to relocate. I'm going to have to move things around. I just don't want to do that. So while things like that are nice to have, I don't need it. I don't carry extra chairs, even folding chairs, because I set this van up, if you saw the other videos, to be able to sit on that bed with these side doors open. Those are my seats. Or the way this van is made, I can just come back here and sit on the bumper. 2 or 3 people can sit on the bumper and in this space. So I don't have the need to carry chairs around with me everywhere I go, because again, that's 2 more items that I am going to have to move around constantly. Every time I want to get to something, every time I go to get ready for bed, they're going to have to be moved and relocated. Just don't want to deal with it. I know people that carry little folding tables in case they go somewhere there's no picnic table. Again, I just don't want to carry a folding table with me, so I don't. So just because you watch videos, and I'm sure you watch other people's channels other than mine, just because you see all these great things doesn't mean you have to have them. So the question is, well, if you're not carrying a table and you don't have a picnic table, where do you cook? Well, I can set the stove on the ground if I have to. Usually there's a tree stump or something around to set it on. Or I could find something to stack up. But I can do that, again, without having to carry a table just for that. It's like with the bike. If I can't find a tree and in the desert, that's very much a possibility. I've been a lot of places, there's obviously no picnic tables. I'm doing free camping out west for days at a time, sometimes weeks at a time. There is nothing to chain a bicycle to other than the door handle. So if I can do it out west, I can do it when I'm back here in the east where there are trees and picnic tables. So again, there's just a lot of things that you just don't have to have. My absolute requirements, one is going to be one of those $50 or $60 jump packs. You need to pick one of those up and have it with you. It's good to have a set of battery jumper cables also, but that requires you finding someone to help you. And if you're the kind of person that goes to campgrounds and you're around people all the time or with groups of people, then that's great. Maybe you can get by without the battery pack. But if you're going out on your own somewhere, and I tend to hit some desolate areas sometimes, I don't want to be dependent on anybody else. So the jump pack, unless your battery is just completely dead and you've let it discharge for 2 days, that jump pack is going to start your vehicle. So I hope you found something useful from this video. We've got more stuff coming both on the minivan and this bigger van. The bigger van is probably going to get solar. I've thought about putting some type of solar into this little van, but again, all I'd really be using it for is running that fan, so I'm on the wall about it. I probably just won't in the minivan, but we'll see. It could happen. Like I said, I've had 5,000 mile round trips with these things. I really haven't needed it. It's one of those things that it's nice, but you just don't have to have it. And the main thing is, if you haven't started this yet, and you want to start on weekends, or you want to start during your summer vacation from work or whatever, is you don't need this $5,000 conversion in order to get out and start adventuring and being in nature and feeling better and enjoying yourself. Give me your questions down in the comments. Hit like if you found this of any use, and we'll bring you more videos.